All right, we're back. The MMA, the All-Star MMA live show. We're back. Make sure you guys go in the descriptions and download the All-Star app. Make picks this week. The UFC's back in action, I believe. I don't even remember. I think in Las Vegas. I think they're in the Apex again. You know, the card is probably stacked with notable names. I don't even know who's fighting on the card, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, there's so many cards all the time. Like, I have no idea, right? So. But, you know, it's probably a decent card. You know, it's the UFC. But anyways, you go in there, you can make picks and, you know, accumulate points and win prizes on the app. And as well, you know, you get news. And, you know, if you follow other sports like football, you can customize it to get all the news for football, basketball, whatever, soccer, you know, football, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever, any sport you could do that with. So go get the app. Anyways, we paid the bills. Now, the first topic that I wanted to get into with these gentlemen, you know what I mean? You probably know who they are. There's no introduction needed. The UFC 300, right? It's like, do you guys pay attention to that? You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're a coach, you run a gym, Alex, and Tariq, you're a fighter. You also you running a gym, you know what I mean? And you probably got other things going on with your life as well. You know what I mean? Are you paying attention to UFC 300? Is it a big deal for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, you know, there's 100, 200, 300. I mean, I'm definitely curious who they're going to have on the card. Who did they announce already? I can't even remember.
Well, Weili.
Yeah, Weili's fighting.
Yeah.
I think they just announced.
Dustin
Poirier for the Bad Mother BMF belt, right?
Yeah.
No. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway.
Oh yeah, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway.
Yeah. But that's like that's the best fight on the card. So think about it. That's the best fight for UFC 300 is Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. The next one is Weili versus Jan. And then the next one is like Yuri versus Rakic, right?
Yeah.
That's the lineup so far for pay-per-view.
There's no main event.
No way. They haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, they gotta
That's a good reaction because you're like, what?
They gotta pull something out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so now what do they need to pull out? Because like
you need a superstar.
They need superstars.
Yeah.
Right?
You need Izzy.
Probably
you need Connor.
Izzy, Connor.
Maybe Izzy versus Dricus. Obviously they were.
I don't think they'll put it for the belt. Yeah.
You don't think so?
It's such a good story. Why would they not put it on there?
Yeah,
the African champ thing. Like,
I don't know what's going on with Connor and Michael.
That's the thing, also, right?
Yeah.
Like, so there's all these rumors flying around, right? Because Dana White has come out and he's like, we're gonna make a big announcement. It's gonna blow your fucking mind and all that bullshit. Like he always
Brock
says.
Lesnar.
Yeah, like Brock is like what, 50 years old now,
Brock
right?
Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. They're both on steroids now. Fuck, that'd be funny. What if Mark Hunt was just like, he was like, fuck it. He was like, you know what? If I can't beat him, fucking join him, you know? And then you just get like fucking massive like Mark fucking Hunt.
Imagine Mark Hunt on steroids. That would just be a sight to see.
He's lunatic without steroids.
Yeah, I don't know him. I don't know if him and Dana see eye to eye anymore, but it's got to be something big, right? Like,
but I would beat Lesnar.
That would blow my mind. To be honest with you, if they did announce Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt 2 on steroids, I'd be like, what the hell?
That would be fun. I will watch it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that would sell the pay-per-view.
Yes.
It's like, all right, Mark, listen.
I'll pay $100 to watch that for sure.
We'll pay you off.
Who is
we'll give you a big purse.
Remember UFC 200 was
it was Brock
Lesnar and Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier versus Anderson Silva. Remember
that?
He stepped in. Yeah. And people got mad at DC for like wrestling him, but it was like, oh, come on. He stepped in short notice. Who was the fight supposed to be?
John Jones.
Was it really? Yeah,
that's got popped. Yeah.
Fucking John Jones.
So like that's the big argument.
Is he on the card?
Who? John Jones?
Yeah.
No, he's injured.
He just did the shoulder surgery.
There's a whole nother shit
that's a big
storm going on right now with heavyweight with Stipe and John Jones
and
not fighting.
Aspinall.
And Aspinall wants to fight.
Yeah. He's like,
but the other guys don't want to fight him because he's not a big name. You know what I mean? They're like Stipe's considered like the greatest heavyweight.
They still want to make that fight. Right? They want to make that fight. Stipe versus John.
They do, but John Jones just had surgery.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be gone.
And
like
Stipe said he doesn't want to fight anyone but John Jones. He want to make money. I think this is his last fight. Yeah. Like he does this fight and then that's
for sure. He wouldn't have to. He beat the heavyweight goat, and then what else you got to do?
Yeah. And that's why John Jones wants to fight Stipe, because if he beats Stipe, he beat the heavyweight goat.
For sure. And then there's nothing else you got to do.
And then that's his last fight.
He doesn't even have to do anything else.
No, he don't. He don't. That would.
But
that would put him so far ahead of everybody.
Yeah, he would. I reckon. Does anyone? not think Jon Jones would beat Stipe?
I think he does.
Yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah, for sure.
Stipe didn't look good in his last fight.
And he looked out of it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he looked stiff
and chinny. Like, I don't think like he's old now, so like his chin won't get.
Yo, everybody's chinny with President Gadu, right?
Right?
No?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called chinny. It's just called that guy can fucking hit.
Yeah.
I love fucking Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
But you got to have a superstar in there.
Yeah, you got to
like,
I think you need they're missing two big blockbuster fights. That's what I think they're missing.
And Volko, he's fighting in February, so there's no way he's on there.
No, he's not.
What is it?
Like in the beginning of the year, they said they were running out of main events. So like
I think who's the biggest superstar in the UFC today?
Izzy is the biggest superstar.
Yeah.
Who's the top three? Who's the top three? Who's the top five?
Izzy,
top five,
Connor, Izzy, Connor, Dustin, Nick Diaz.
Yeah, well, they don't fight in the UFC anymore. So, yeah, it's Connor. The list is very short of like.
Yeah, but of those superstars, who's like
available?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, Izzy's available because he hasn't fought in a while, but Dricus has to be ready.
If if it wasn't up to UFC 100, like the story could be different. You could do Strickland versus you could do Strickland versus Izzy, #1 contender, go back. But I think just because of the story, you could actually put that.
But they need titles, man.
That's what I'm saying. You could put Izzy versus Dricus on 300 because there's a story.
But then there's these rumors, right, of like Connor, because Connor like tweeted out like UFC 300, whatever. Yeah. Connor's in this level of like he can just write whatever on social media and people are gonna believe that shit, right?
Yes. So but he's running out of time where people care about it.
Well, now there's no they have a new drug testing company now. So USADA's out.
So
the UFC can the UFC can control because UFC can what is it? Interpretate the results. They could like they're governing themselves. Basically, that's kind of like what's
like an Asian organization.
So exactly right. So you're your own commission.
If we go back in time in Jon Jones' case, and what is it?
Picogram.
They will let that slide.
They're changing that. They're changing that.
The pulsing picogram.
Yeah. The threshold is.
Should we even say there was a lot of like stuff with Jon Jones, different things over the years. Yeah. Some were true, some were not true. So even stuff like
under the cage.
Yeah, of course, there's that. But I mean, like all the stuff. But yeah, some of it he probably didn't need coming his way, like the picogram thing. You know.
Yeah.
He just got the blame for it.
Well. So Jon Jones, he's just
who's the biggest stars then?
Jon Jones, he can't fight.
Amanda
retired.
Yeah,
and
Valentina, not the champ anymore.
You know what they're talking about? This is a rumor out right now. Is that they're gonna create a new division, the 165-pound division, and then they're gonna change 170 to 175. So then they'll have like a super lightweight division and a welterweight division at 175 pounds.
Well, yeah, because 155 to 170 to 185
and Connor
is crazy.
and Chandler fights for the 165-pound belt. That makes sense, right? That would be a shock.
The inaugural belt.
That makes sense to create more divisions because, like in MMA, the difference between weight classes is so big that they can introduce. There's so much. I am an in-betweener. I'm a small middleweight.
Yeah.
So like, I can be 175 or 180 easy.
But you ain't no welterweight anymore.
No, I can't. I will die. Like this 5 pounds going to 170 I can't do it. I can't make
impossible.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, the fans don't realize how hard it is.
Was it
those last couple of pounds, right?
Was it
last 2 pounds?
Tajikistan when it was 170 or no?
Oh my God!
Was that no?
Yeah, so me and him went to Tajikistan to do.
Yeah, that's a real country. He's not making it up. It's a real country.
I don't know why I have this stupid idea. Stupid idea to fight at 170, and I was forcing it, and we nearly died.
I never saw someone after he like cut a bunch of weight, but he was still like a while off. He was like bone dry, like in the sauna for like 20 minutes. I'm like, yo, we got to stop this because you're not even sweating. It was crazy.
All right. So before you guys go further on the story, Tariq, if you actually like move down here, you should start your own podcast of you talking about your life and what you've been through, and bring the people that like went with you, like Alex,
100%
on the show, and just talk about like.
You should also start a sauna, but a podcast too. I was gonna say you should start a sauna, but definitely a podcast.
Yeah, man. This like me and this guy went through so much. Like in my case, all the shit I went through and how we got out of it. Oh my God.
Crazy. Dude, I think you should keep those stories like not talk about
We'll
them
call-
and just keep them there and
For
like
my
you
own
do your own.
podcast?
Hey, we'll call it
Dude,
Tariq-
I
Tariq-
would pump that shit.
Tariq
You
TV.
have the craziest stories. Like remember
Oh.
when you went to jail in Thailand for the,
Oh my god,
the
this is
terrorist
one.
list or some shit? Like
This,
that
was, hold on,
story.
this was the week before the fight. This is why.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the week of this.
Oh, okay.
He was cutting weight.
I was can't wait in the cell. I was like,
Hold on.
oh.
He, by the way, he's not a terrorist. We just went.
Yeah,
we-
yeah.
we're
He's
on,
on the list.
we,
He's on the list.
Just the boys made the list.
Maybe-
Put me on.
He's just on the list.
They made a mistake, a big mistake, right? But
Big mistake.
Tariq, we'll call it Tariq TV.
oh, Tariq has. Dude, I'm telling you, like one person. I don't really tell people to do podcasts, but man, one person that should make one.
They talk about tough
You.
times for MMA fighters,
Yeah.
but like the tough times I have to face, it's not about being broke. It's not about being bullied. It's not about being broke. It's everything else on the list. Just hit me. Just because
Things that you
where I
would
come
never
from.
expect to happen is
Yeah.
happening,
Oh
right?
my
Like
God.
just wow. Yeah.
Just a podcast with him and Emilo.
Oh
yeah.
Him and Emilio will
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful like.
I
Yeah, you
lived
can do
with
it.
Emilio like for a while. That shit was crazy.
That
Yeah.
was crazy. That's a good way to put it.
I got called for a fight at 3 a.m. I was sleeping. It's like, yo, head to the airport. It's like, Emilio, we don't have money, dog. It's like we start coming up with whatever coins we have, and then I fucking packed my my groin protection and my mouthpiece, fight shorts. Let's go. Crazy shit.
Yeah, man. I tell you, like, Tariq, like I think you should never talk about your stories anymore,
All
and
right.
just keep it to
We're
yourself.
saving. We're
Save it.
saving them.
Save it to it, and I'll
All right.
help you.
I
Like,
need
get it
to
done.
write a book.
You should write a
Yeah,
book.
definitely write a book.
What language?
It's like what language? It's like 5 different languages. Like you wrote it all.
Skips around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody can
Chapter
read it.
1. This language.
Yeah.
Back to UFC 300. But for
Yeah.
real, who could like? I mean, that's a massive number. So like the UFC must be like, what can we do?
They're scrambling.
Because that's massive. I mean, like really, name the 5 biggest superstars, and if they're not available,
They
yeah.
need Connor and Izzy on the same pay-per-view. They've
Yeah.
never done that before.
Never.
They need that.
that's true.
If they could get both those guys at the same time, that's
I bet,
Well,
they're, I bet,
I
they're, I
think-
bet they're working on
I
it.
think they're struggling with
Yeah.
super or mega stars because like
Everyone
they
lost-
messed up on the Saudi card because they
Yeah.
couldn't come up with a big name.
Yeah.
Saudi told them, "Hey, we paid 20 million. What's up
20 million.
for one event or like 2 events? I don't
Oh,
know.
for this,
That's
that's Saudi money. That's like
Money, baby.
I don't know. That's
Hey, money's money.
Yeah.
20 mil, 20
I mean,
mil,
I'm
right?
curious. It's a funny like actually thing to think about like
Mm.
what superstars are. Like, a lot of people lost last year.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost.
Yeah.
Well, they're not recycling. They're not turning over the superstars as fast
No.
anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? Because you don't have that mega star. You know what I mean? Connor, when Connor was fighting and being that mega star, the UFC was a different beast,
Sure.
Exactly.
right?
yes.
And right now, Izzy is doing it, but he's kind of like on the back end of it now, right?
Yeah, he's
He's kind of like on the back end, you know, like he's not. It seems like he's, you know, like he's reached it multiple times now, like the belt. You know what I mean? Like he's done pretty much everything he's wanted to do. right?
Yeah.
Now he's just fighting for legacy, like for paychecks. You know what I mean? Basically,
Mm.
those are the 2 types of things. Unless he's chasing the belt again, but I don't think he likes.
I
I
don't
don't think
think-
he cares about the
He's
belt.
like, yeah, he made so much money. He's been like a champion for a while, defended it for a while.
Mhm.
Like he's at the top of the list in defending the belt, being a champion, net worth, and
Well,
I don't know what
avenged,
do you fight for anymore.
He avenged his Pereira loss.
And that too.
He would have to avenge his Strickland loss or Dricus, you know.
You know what he fights for? Racism.
Well, that
that
story,
too.
the African thing, that's like the
Yeah,
story, you know,
yeah.
which
That's the story. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what they're gonna push. You think the UFC is gonna be like, we're gonna take the moral high ground and not
Nah,
promote
no
them?
way.
No, they're gonna play that shit over and over.
100%.
Izzy in his face in the ring in the middle, just
And that's why they let it slide inside the cage,
Yes.
like under the main spotlight. It's like Izzy brought it up. I was like, yeah.
even when Sean Strickland fought Dricus in the crowd, that just didn't.
And
that was
they
just weird.
pumped that. They,
Yeah, they
that's
pumped.
like a
pumped
skull.
it.
That's like
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah.
But
Isn't
you
that
know,
funny? Didn't he tell like what was it like Gilbert Burns' like kid to move out of the way or something?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
somebody,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
excuse me."
yeah,
Or
yeah.
his wife, I think.
He just like jumped over the.
Yeah, that was weird, man.
Hey, it's so funny. Like it is funny to think about like the sport, and like we're talking at business and everything, but like it's fighting at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and like we get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
they do. You do.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
We all kind of
Yeah.
They're like, man, like in any other like industry or
Yeah.
sport, like some of the shit we'd say, like, I don't know. I think you get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like you're right. Like you cannot just like have
It's funny.
altercations like that, and it just becomes like
No
nothing.
way.
Yeah.
Only with like Colby, right? Like he'll sue you and
But
shit, you know?
Colby is washed up now after that last fight. He's
That was
done.
crazy.
Yeah,
That
what was
a
up
weird-
with
that was a
that?
weird
You know what I
fight.
mean?
Yeah,
That was a weird
I think he's like even like he was reaching that mega star type of position,
Mhm.
but because of last fight, I feel he lost
Yeah,
everything.
He did. It was
Yeah,
his last.
like he
chance.
burned his last card.
Yeah.
Done.
And then he goes, he thought he won after that fight. He's like, I don't know. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, like the UFC. To me, the UFC really wanted Colby Covington to be the champ.
They wanted it because like he has the mouth, he
does.
sells tickets, he makes people hate him and want to watch him lose,
yeah.
but
And he's political too. I think
And
that's
that
what they
too,
like
yes,
because he
yeah.
could go on the political side, go on like CNN or some shit,
yeah,
and pump the UFC. Because UFC doesn't care how it gets in front of people.
yeah.
It gets in front of people, right?
Sure.
So it's a huge machine, man. What about Vince McMahon? Did you hear about Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
Yo, like
I don't know.
they merged, and then Vince McMahon is like, shh, he's
No, I
gone.
haven't heard. What's that?
Vince McMahon is the guy that runs the other side, right? 'Cause
The
they merged with WWE,
TKO,
right?
the TKO.
TKO, right?
Yeah, he's like super. He was like the Dana White of
Yeah,
WWE. He's
I
massive,
know
but
what
on
he,
you're talking
steroids, right?
about.
Yeah, and
I
but
know
he
what
just
you're
got
talking
accused of
yeah, all kinds
Yeah,
of crazy shit,
some
man.
stuff,
sexual shit. like,
Yeah?
yeah.
Well,
He had to
everything,
resign.
everything now is surfacing after
Yeah.
this Epstein
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
I heard I watched like this little clip from the Joe Rogan Experience yesterday with Eddie Bravo, and he was like, the whole world is happening because of Epstein, you know, like and he was like these like high profile like officials would rather World War III start than be outed for like being a pedophile, you know, and it's kind of
Yeah.
true.
Well,
whole
that's what's happening.
The
Yeah.
world is
Right
a
now.
trip, man.
People are
It is.
distracted.
It's
Yeah.
just weird, man. Just everything that's going on. Fuck, Joe Biden, like, look at that guy. Just
Yeah.
like what?
my God.
He's like that guy on The Simpsons.
100%.
What's that guy? on
Yeah,
The
but that
Simpsons?
was the problem was like Burns. Was
Yeah,
it?
Mr. Burns. Yeah,
Burns?
Mr. He's Mr. Burns. Like
Yeah, that
live.
is so funny. No, but people hated Trump so much that
Yeah.
they just wanted the exact opposite, which is not better, you know. So
And then now
It
they
was
hate
worse.
Biden so much. Like you
Trump
got,
get reelected.
You got black people supporting Trump.
Trump will probably
That's
get
how
reelected.
far it's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
crazy. And yeah.
And now Texas wants to be an
Separate.
independent.
Yeah, they want. Yeah, Texas has been its own place for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Texas will kill you.
Yeah, fighting unites. I'm still curious about these superstars. Like, who would they put?
Yeah,
I am really. It's really interesting. I didn't think about it.
To me, like the best case scenario, and that would be kind of like shocking. Not really shocking, but something that would be entice me to buy the pay-per-view is Izzy fights Dricus for the title. Because I want to see them fight. I want to see who wins that. Because I think Dricus has a really good style. Like it might not be the prettiest, but it's effective.
Yeah.
And I want to see how Izzy kind of maneuvers around that. Because he's gonna go straight at Izzy. And then Izzy
Dricus
just
is
fought
getting more
Strickland.
composed actually. In that Strickland fight, he was still composed for all 5 rounds.
But the thing is, like Strickland kind of did that style, right, where he just went at Izzy and just pushed.
Yeah,
the pressure.
that fight from Izzy, it was weird.
It was a weird fight.
Like Izzy knows how to fight on the back foot.
Yeah.
So like
He fought a guy with a Philly shell before. It's not like who knows?
It just seemed like it didn't click. Like
yes,
it was, just
was
like,
not there.
Yeah,
it was not,
It's just like he was like,
or he didn't take him seriously.
Yeah, it was like it was almost like he was just like, man, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna get fucked up, so it's just like let me just fight.
It's a hard sport, bro.
Especially keeping motivated when and he's fighting 5-round fights. Back like how many fights has he had?
For
5 rounds.
so long.
They just said when the Dricus Strickland fight, that was the first middleweight fight in 6 years that didn't have Izzy in it, which it's just crazy how time goes on.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
In that 6 years, man,
it's a super long time.
He's taken full advantage of everything, and it's just gonna last forever for him now. It's just he just did it right, you know.
Ooh, what about maybe Ronda Rousey comes back?
Yeah, but she's old as
shit.
I was gonna say, what if she comes back for 300?
She's an old mama now.
Yeah, she's.
But that was just the example of like lose. Well, just lose and not really do it the right way.
Yeah. Also, she's making so much money in the WWE. Like she will find it so hard to get motivated to get on the grind.
No, she shouldn't.
Back
do it.
to the
she
gym.
shouldn't.
And like and then having the possibility of having someone way better than her, way younger than her, beating her in the UFC.
No, no
and
way.
like, yeah, I don't think.
Here's one. What about Jake Paul?
He signed a
Well, he signed
PFL.
PFL.
Oh, he did. Yeah, you're right. I was
Yeah.
gonna say because man, that would be like a big curveball.
You
But
see what's happening with Jake Paul now?
no,
Like his event that he had, that last boxing event, is being
Yeah.
investigated for fight fixing.
for his fight specifically.
No, just the event. So nobody knows exactly what
Whatever is
fight
it?
is.
MVP Promotions. Whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
I guess forgot he is back in PFL, but that would be like a shocking thing that the UFC could do, which is kind of crazy, right?
Well,
Imagine
Kayla
that.
Harrison was pretty. Like I was
Oh,
surprised
Kayla Harrison's fighting.
when she
yeah.
signed with the UFC. I was like, whoa.
Nah, she wanted to be in the UFC, I think.
She is.
But that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. She wanted to be.
Oh.
But isn't that like a not sad thing of MMA? But we're like, man, who are the superstars? You know what? I bet if they put Jake Paul, that would get people to watch. But
Yeah,
it would, right?
yeah, it was.
Jake Paul versus Nick Diaz.
Oh yeah. They're also talking about they're working on Nate Diaz versus Connor 3.
Oh, I heard that too.
Yeah,
but,
they're working on that.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's like good, but is it kind of past like the hype? You know,
It passed the hype.
I think
don't
people are
It
getting
is
tired.
past
Of,
the hype,
I mean,
yeah.
like the Connor stuff is like, I mean, all respect
And
everything. He's
also
done,
like
but-
Connor fighting Chandler. Chandler kind of boring to me. Like he tries to sell,
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't find it. I didn't find him like, okay, if he's fighting on the card, I want to watch it.
Mm.
In the beginning, when he moved from Bellator to the UFC, I was like, yeah, let me see what he's capable of. But like, well, he wasn't delivering as what I was expecting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fights have been crazy though. His
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, he's had
He's
great
not
fights.
really like.
Him and Dustin was a good fight.
This is the way I look at Michael Chandler. He's like the Tom Cruise of MMA, right? He's
Yeah.
it's like he can go on like. I think that's why the UFC likes him, because he's like an all-American kind of guy, you know, like he's the guy next door mowing your lawn and be like, "Hey neighbor," like that's Michael Chandler.
He
Maybe,
adopted
yeah.
a kid.
Yeah, like he'd be driving his
Two
kids.
He's like the nicest dude.
Yeah,
ever.
he'd be driving his kids to fucking Sunday school or something. I don't know. Like he
Yeah.
can go on Oprah and do an interview and people would watch it and be like, "Yeah, imagine a UFC champ on Oprah." Like that's what they probably envisioned for Michael Chandler, but it just never happened because
Yeah.
his fighting style is just too risky, right?
It is so risky. He gets too much damage to get a win.
Crazy damage.
Yeah.
But I think Connor needs to be on 300 because 300 is still in April, right? It's still some time left, and Connor's in shape. Like when you see him now, he's in shape. Like he's training. He was training with Brendan and John
Dubai.
Boy and all
Yeah.
that, right? So like he's training. You know, just getting past the screenings and stuff, right? That's the question. Like, can he get past those screenings? And I think the UFC is working that out right now with Connor. I think they're gonna figure it out real soon, and they're gonna bring him back. And
He wants to
nobody cares.
fight. They
Oh,
want to
yeah.
bring him on, and I think all this drama about the drug testing and stuff,
Yeah.
it is because of
Connor.
they can't. Yeah, not just Connor, but they can't maneuver and get around mega stars and just get fights ruined because of picogram or whatever.
True.
Yeah.
You're right. Because there was always a possibility of a mistake.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're losing so much money, like, and everyone does something stupid.
What if he just announced like Justin Bieber's fighting somebody? Like, I would
Justin Bieber?
laugh, dude.
Well,
I'd be like, the UFC
they've
is a
done it
fucking
with-
joke.
they've done it with the CM Punk.
Yeah, but I mean, again, can you imagine though? Like UFC 300 is a massive thing, right? It's as big. UFC is as big as it's ever been. 300 is a huge number. They must be really scrambling to like find out who can fill this card.
Yeah.
Who else was on 200? It was
She might
Amanda Nunes.
comes up
No,
could be
no.
no.
Well, Hamzat could be on this one. Yeah.
who was on 200? Anderson and DC.
I think Amanda Nunes versus Misha Tate versus Amanda Nunes, Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt, DC, Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, Cain Velasquez, Travis Brown.
all the OGs that
that's a
retired.
crazy
Yeah.
fight. I remember, you
Yeah.
know what I hated about that? Remember they did that yellow canvas? Remember that?
Yeah,
Oh,
it looked like
yeah.
piss.
It was
Yeah.
so gross.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
It's
They,
so
they
bad.
looked at it and was like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Well, that
So
was
bad.
Monster
It
Energy.
was
drink.
very hard to watch.
So-
You know Monster Energy drink, right? You know.
Plus-
you know,
plus-
dude.
plus the cage looks so tiny with the yellow canvas.
Yeah.
You think they'll do a different canvas this time? Black?
Yeah,
maybe?
it'll
That
be
black's
like
cool. Black and gold
pink
or
or some
something.
shit.
Oh, I don't know.
Pink.
Doo-doo
It's
brown.
Bang towel color.
And
brown.
then-
Where is it? Where is Vegas?
Yeah, I think Vegas.
Islam. Who would Islam fight? No.
Islam, they say he's not coming back until like summer.
He did.
Yeah, I think for the Dagis and all these Muslim fighters, they keep them for the
Oh,
Middle
Yeah,
East.
Ramadan.
they got to.
Yeah, they keep them
Yeah.
for the Middle East.
that's
Now they
true.
signed a deal with Saudi and signed
When's
a deal-
Ramadan? March.
March.
Maybe that's why he don't want to do it.
mid-March,
So everybody's
yeah.
trying to fight before March.
He said he wants to fight before March, but
Yeah.
I don't think they can. No, because they signed a multiple fight deal of multiple years with Saudi. They renewed again with Abu Dhabi. That I heard rumors that they are signing deal with an Egyptian businessman that may do events in Egypt.
Mhm.
So I think they will, and they don't have enough Arabic fighters, so
Mhm.
they will keep all these Dagestani Muslim fighters for the region.
Yeah.
I don't think they will keep fight them in Vegas anymore in the States.
Yeah, and they don't have to worry about visas and all that shit.
On that
'cause,
too, yeah.
like that could be an issue from time to time for a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That like if they keep it in that area, they could just run like 6 events a year
Yeah.
in that region, and they just pump all their fighters in that
Yeah.
region. Yeah, I
And
can see it
now
happening.
all events are coming to this event.
Yeah.
One FC is coming.
Yeah.
PFL is coming. All the mega promotions are coming to the region. So and there's no enough fighters. The sport is still new, some sort of amateur level in that region. So they need to spend a lot of time to grow it there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. You know what I mean? How they're gonna like maybe it's like we're pumping it up too much and UFC doesn't even really give a shit.
Nah, they give a shit.
Nah, it's a huge number.
They give a shit
Yeah.
for sure.
You know, like
But they're probably stressing. They probably are. Like
they probably you know, they kind of like
I'm going
brushed
through
off Saudi Arabia with that bullshit ass card that they were trying to put on.
I'm going through in my head like
yeah.
what they could actually come up with, but it is tough.
Yeah.
Like all
Like-
the superstars are.
I hope they don't do some clown shit. You know what I mean?
like CM Punk.
Yeah, or like you know, like
Yeah.
some celebrity comes on and fights and shit. It'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but
This
I
is-
still watch it.
of course. But I'm saying like it's stupid. Like you would watch it and be like, it's stupid,
Yeah.
you know. But and maybe
They do a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah.
The UFC is like
maybe they create a new belt that's BMF, not BMF, something else. BMF belt. But the thing is, like, I like the idea of them creating more weight classes. The reason why is because if you create more weight classes, you have more champions, right?
yes.
And then you have more main events that you can
And
put
then
on
you
with
can
all the
introduce
cards.
more athletes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And fighters are gonna get more fighters gonna get championship money
Yeah.
because there's more titles now.
Well, they don't like that. The UFC doesn't like that. But there is, I mean,
But
from 55 to 70, 70 to 85, and 85 to
It's
205. It's
ridiculous.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
185 to 205 pounds is like pretty, it's 20 pounds. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
That's a huge difference, man.
It is. It's between 15 pounds to 20 pounds difference between divisions, which is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just like a natural,
Mhm.
you sit up, you know.
And
whatever.
then they inhabit the boxing rules and judging,
Yeah.
but then they don't inhabit the boxing rules in
The
weight classes.
Yeah.
They got like
Yeah.
every 5 pounds. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
boxing.
I like the every 10 pounds. I don't mind that. I think that should be good. Every
Like,
10 pounds.
Also, when you have less weight less weight cutting,
Mhm.
you will have
You get better
the
fights.
athletes fight more regular and better fights.
Yeah, you get better
Yeah.
fight.
And with short notice fights,
Then
it's
they don't. Yeah.
because the weight classes are not so fucking
Yeah.
broad. Like dudes could be sitting at a good weight and take a short notice fight and still make weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, like for the athlete's health, they don't blow up so big after the
Mm.
fights because, well, he's sitting at that weight.
Yeah.
Cutting 5 pounds or
Yeah.
7 pounds won't make him starve to death and then bounce back on the weight and
Mm.
blow up after the fight. So they can maintain a healthy lifestyle throughout the year.
Yeah, I think more weight classes. A lot of people talk about like, we don't want more weight classes. They're always complaining about the weight classes. Now they're like saturated and there's not as many good fighters. And of course, some divisions are going to be better than others. That's just natural. Not every division is going to be action packed, crazy and shit.
Yeah.
Like all the fighters are going to be, like phenomenal. It's not like that. It's just not. But if you have more weight class, I'm just looking at opportunity, and that's what I want to see. Is more opportunity for people to get a championship title. Because
Yeah.
that, man, like
That's
have
where
two
they
more-
make the
yeah,
money.
Exactly, right?
Because the bottom of the line fighters don't make money.
yeah,
most of them who are in the UFC or starting up in the UFC that live in the States, they're still struggling to make means end. You know, they don't make that much money, and then at the end of the day, if they don't make it to the top 10, they go back to find a regular job to be able to put food on the table.
Even if they do make it top 10, it doesn't last forever, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you don't, like, you can't do for yourself anything after the fighting years if you don't make it to the top 10. Like, you can't save money. You all, like, we all know, all fighters take the money from the fight, invest it back again in camps. They don't end up saving money unless they make it to the top 10 and they start making champion money or like star money, to be able to save up and like buy whatever asset or start a business, something. But yeah, starting new or opening new divisions, allowing fighters to make it to the top, to be able to make money and then like have a life after the fighting years.
Yeah, I think that's what we need. We need more opportunities for that, and
Yeah.
more weight classes, more fighters can get signed, and more opportunities. And they have fucking like 50,000 events a year. Like, you need to have more belts on the line. You need to have more, and it's an opportunity for fighters to become bigger stars, right?
Exactly,
like you could have a career where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna fight this much, and if I could get to the belt, maybe I win it, I don't. But then like you switch over at like a certain age at the weight above, because it's not that 10 pounds, right? So you could kind of prolong your career in some ways. Because think about you training at like 185 and fighting there, and then like at the age of 30, 32 or 33 or whatever, you switch to 205.
Yeah,
dude, that might not be a very good decision, you know what I mean? Because there's a huge gap and like your body's not used to it.
This is what like it happened to me.
Yeah.
Because like I tried moving from 185 to 205, and the hit my body was like it was huge. I'm always injured. I'm always in pain because my body is not used to moving at that weight. And like I had to make a decision. It's like I'm done. I can't make 205. It's very dangerous. I'm not cutting weight. People think putting weight is easy, but putting weight and being active is so hard.
It's a long process, man.
It is.
It's a long process.
And dangerous on the body because your joints can't handle so much.
Yeah, people just think like, oh, you just eat a little bit more.
No, it's not like that. No.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. The next thing is Jon Anik, right? You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the commentator, right, for the UFC. Like he after the Drickus and Strickland fight, you read the tweet, right? And then people like attacked him, like the MMA fans attacked him for like, you don't know shit, blah blah blah, right? And then he went on his podcast and kind of like went off on the fans, saying like, why is there so much negativity? Like it makes me want to like retire, basically. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then he comes back a couple days later and says and apologizes for what he said. I'm like, dude doesn't not need to apologize for anything he said. But I guess that's the type of dude he is, right? And he didn't really say anything bad. Like he said the truth.
I don't know what he said, but I think it got to him because when you are a person under the spotlight, 100% you can't win everyone. So like you will have people disagreeing with you, and the internet gives everyone a platform to attack the other person. So yeah, I mean, like sometimes it gets to you. So like it gets to everyone. It got to Izzy. It gets to Connor. I'm sure it got to Joe Rogan at one point.
And Gary.
Yeah, definitely got to him.
Yeah, I mean, like the internet allows any motherfucker behind the screen to say his opinion out loud and attack other people and bully people on the internet. So yeah, sometimes I think that's what happened to Anik. It got to him. Yeah. He didn't need to apologize.
No, he's like, he said the truth, right? Like, you guys know, you guys fought, you know what I mean? You guys have probably gotten people in your social media, in the
100%.
DMs.
Do you remember when
they talk about my tits?
We used to, they're nice.
Yeah.
We used to have this troll. This was like back in the day. And he used to troll our whole like group of friends. It was like Volko, Shay, George, me, you. I don't know if you remember this. And he would go on our Instagram. Nah, it was a random name on our Instagram.
Oh yes, I remember.
And it was always like a fake name, but like it
Yes.
was the most like hateful, fucked up shit talking you've ever
Yeah.
so fucked up. Like I don't
So
even know if I
fucked
could
up.
say this on the internet. Like it was just really fucked up. But then he like knew us because he would say specific shit
He
too.
100% knew us.
Yeah.
So he was like a stalker at the gym.
I don't know, but like it was a certain time that he was attacking the crew.
Yeah, but
Everyone.
everyone he would go on their things, and then he would like some of it was like super nasty. It was like didn't make sense. But then some of it like was like personal shit that like he knew, you know, like
yeah,
talking about some like oh, it's crazy.
it was
Oh.
insane.
I have some screenshots of it from somewhere because we used to just laugh at it.
You
We're
still
like
have it?
somewhere. I'm like,
No way.
I have like a folder of like our old like
yeah, but
all of our old like memes and shit like that. But that was funny. But yeah, people you just I don't know. You can't take it too seriously.
So he was like a hater, and he was kind of like
we don't
terrorizing
know.
you guys.
We don't know who he was, but yeah,
yeah,
was
he would say like really like
really bad shit, like
Like attacking you like personally.
I mean, I would just say it. Yeah, he would be like, I remember it was like, it didn't make sense. It wouldn't be like English, I don't, because he would like translate. It was like, you drink your mom's like menstruation blood, like you
Whoa.
fucking
Like,
losers, you
dirty
fucked your,
shit,
yeah.
yeah.
like you fucked your parents in the ass, shit like that, like really
Wow.
inappropriate. But then he'd be like, I remember some shit he said. I don't know if I want to say it on here, but it was like real specific to like people that we knew, you know,
Oh,
like
okay.
you're just mad because so and so, and we're like, what? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, bro, in my head, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I thought it was like Sam Bassett or something, bro. Like, I don't know.
it was weird.
Yeah, it was funny.
That is weird. That is odd that he attacked your group of friends. So he knew that you guys
Yeah.
were all friends.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
just
like
attacked
we
you.
we're like we're always hanging out. We're like when we were at Tiger, like,
Yeah.
we were like kind of like
Mm.
a crew, and we're
The
always,
boys, right?
yeah,
The
hanging
boys.
out outside the gym together.
Mhm.
Inside the gym, we are a crew. So like, yeah, he definitely knew we were close, and we were like in a circle, and then he start attacking every individual in that group.
Good fun.
Yeah.
Super funny.
What about that guy at the gym that thinks like old dude, the dude with the crazy eyes? That he's not at the gym anymore. But you know what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
he thinks like somebody like put the FBI on him and shit. Like
What,
you know what I'm talking
in
about?
Bangtown here?
Yeah, he's not here no more. But he was here.
The one that wanted to fight old mate?
No, not here. No.
Not your
No, I'll
buddy.
let you know. No, not my buddy. Not my buddy.
Fuck, I'm thinking
Yeah,
now.
not
No, I can't
the
remember.
dude for Saudi.
Not your buddy.
No,
Yeah, I'll
met
let you
a
know.
lot of, we met a lot of strange.
Oh, dude, this is
people on
the
that
land
island.
of strange people, right?
So much.
In
So
Thailand, people
oh
are just
my
like
God.
running away from something. Like
Yeah.
not everyone knows.
100%.
Yeah.
Remember the Susie?
Oh yeah. That was
Oh,
crazy.
that shit was. Oh, but I never seen crazy.
That was nuts.
If
Yeah, we
you
could-
see crazy,
bro, she
and-
thought like the Illuminati was like after her.
Oh my God.
And she was on some mad trip. I don't know what she took, but she was like,
definitely match.
bro, like people got there for like the 7 a.m. Muay Thai class, and she was like dancing in the MMA, like, sweating like this, and just like proper tripping out, bro. Like proper just like talking about Illuminati and like sweating, and her face was. And then someone was like, "Yo, the police are coming. We got to get her on the bike." And she got on her friend's
Yeah.
bike, and I remember she was barefoot, and he was like trying to drive her just away from the gym.
No, she tried to attack.
Yeah, she tried to like attack him, and then she put her feet into the ground and tried to like throw him off the bike, and we're like, "Yeah, it was
And
crazy."
she tried to attack Roger.
Yeah, that's who it was. She was on the
Yeah.
she was in the back of his bike. She was in the back of Roger's bike.
Ah,
And she was trying to like pull him off the
Yeah.
bike and everything, and then
crazy.
good-
And what
Yeah.
about like, because in MMA, like more the fans are dudes.
yeah,
Yeah.
So like that's kind of a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's like being in sports and being like an athlete and being at the professional level, you get like fans, right? But most
Yeah.
of the fans are dudes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a weird thing. Have you ever had like
I
weird
never thought
like
about that really.
confrontations with like dudes? Like because I
Can I tell you one?
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna admit to this, but I remember this happened.
Yeah.
This dude would send me. It was on Facebook. It would send me and Volko and Shay Walsh. He would like send us a picture of his butthole. I remember this, bro. Like, I swear to God, I know they remember. Some dude would just send us like weird pictures, bro.
It was the same one.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't compare them, bro, but I'm pretty sure because like I think somehow it came up. I was like, bro, this dude's like sending me weird shit,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think Volko remember that. Yeah,
Somewhere like
It's
one
super
guy,
weird.
one guy DM'd me asking me.
We called him the butthole bandit.
Like for me, one guy message DM me asking me for my socks after training to buy them off me.
Bro, fighters got to make money, dog.
He's like, what?
Fighters got to eat.
So weird. It was like, I want your stinky socks. It was like,
good business.
What do you mean? It's like your socks after training when they're sweaty. Just I'll buy them off you.
Did you name a price?
I did not. I find it so weird.
Will you sell your socks?
Yeah, I would.
Why for who?
I didn't know who he was.
You don't got to smell his socks.
Dude, women are selling socks all day.
I think I'd sell my socks.
Women are selling socks for like $1,000.
I think I'd sell feet pics. I don't know if anyone wants my feet pics.
Socks.
But I got a picture of my dog. I feel like I have to talk to my dog about it first because I don't think he'd be stoked.
Yeah, your dog would be pissed off.
I don't know if I feel like somebody be like jerking off like a picture of my dog. You know?
That's just not
that's fucked up. Hey, my feet's all right, but my dog, come on, bro. You crossing the line, bro.
They're like, we just want the left foot. We just want the left.
Yo, but you know how girls sell feet pictures? Do you think guys can sell feet pictures?
Of course, why not? There's a market for everything. You know, I think it's called like feet.com or some shit.
Feet Finder.
Yeah, feetfinder.com.
Fighter Feet Finder.
I know fighters that have like sold like their socks.
But like, chicks.
Yeah, chicks.
Yeah. But there are weird dudes, like you said, like
super weird dudes. Like
guys are weird.
Guys are weird. Dudes, just random dudes, right? Like I'll interview like female fighters, right? Or like I'll be around some female fighters, and some random dudes will message me about that fighter.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And I'm just like, what are you fucking?
I know a few girls. I know a few girl fighters, and they told me like they got some real weird followers and messages. And one guy, I don't want to name who the girl was or whatever, but he was like showing up to the gym, and then like after she had fought and I think she had lost, he was like messaging me, messaged the gym page, like, and showed up to the gym. Was like, yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, just there's some like unstable fans in MMA, and that's Jon Anik, man. He's right. Like the fans, they just need their
it is pretty crazy.
A lot of them are just like lunatics.
I guess that's the problem too with like we were saying before about like fighting and MMA. It is so we get away with a lot, but so does the other side. So do fans. So do people commenting. They get away with a lot of like really nasty stuff that like you would never say to like a football player or like a basketball player. I mean, I'm sure there's trolls there as well, but like. They seem to just but which is crazy. You talk shit to fighters, like isn't that crazy? Like you talk shit to fighters, people that can like fuck you up. You know,
MMA and like fighters, like fans have a unique, it's different from other sports because I think like other sports, the athletes they don't have to be like promoting themselves. Yeah. They don't.
They're fans of the team.
They're already promoting.
The they're fans of the team.
They're getting paid crazy money just to be themselves and do what they want to do, right? You don't have to go sell anything.
Have a big Instagram.
Yeah, you don't have to like talk shit. You don't have to do none of that.
You don't get into the NFL because you got a big Instagram.
Exactly, right? Yeah, exactly.
No, that's true. I bet a lot of his NFL players probably don't even really have
No,
Instagram.
they don't. Like some NFL players, you don't even know that they were in the NFL, right? Like, and then you go to their Instagram and like, oh, I played for 4 teams. It's just like, what the hell? But anyways, I think MMA is different, that you guys have to, deal with like weirdos. Yeah, especially like if they're showing up to the gym.
Yeah, they can show up to the gym. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But obviously we gotta most people are really cool.
Oh,
like I think that's the coolest thing of like MMA, jiu-jitsu, the whole sport. You can show up to the gym and come train with anybody. Like this was like a cool moment we had today at the gym. It was sparring today. It's busy class, and George Chickman came up to me. He's like, bro, you know Lorenz Larkin? And I'm like, yeah, of course. That guy's an OG, man. That guy's for sure. He goes, that's him right there. And I didn't even realize it was really cool. Like I seen him at the gym for like 2 weeks. I didn't recognize him. Yeah. I heard his American accent like last week, and then I watched him train, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty good. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and it was just super cool. And I chatted with him after, introduced myself, and it was what's cool about this sport. You can show up to the gym. Everyone trains the same, 5 rounds, 5 minutes, and you get guys at all different levels. It's pretty cool.
Well, look at the mat today. We had the superstar Tariq on the mats, as well as you got a bunch of other guys, right? You had Mohammed Makaev, you got Wei Lee in the cage.
Zhang Wei Lee's on there.
And you got fucking James Gallagher over there.
James Gallagher's there, and then Lorenz Larkin around. Yeah, man.
And then you got straight up like. Yeah. You got Flash Daddy's like a superstar in Taiwan and shit. Yeah. No one really knows yet, but we know. We know Flash Daddy.
And then we got what's cool about that, Matt, too, is we got the next generation. This is what people don't understand too. Flash like Daddy. we have like a lot of people that kind of are associating with us and training with us and coming to train at the gym that are like kind of already at this like very high level of MMA, but on the ground, when you see it at the gym, you see these, I'm talking teenagers, kids that are barely 20 years old are so good. And you watch them spar, you watch they're little black belts who like, it's so funny to watch like from when we were like amateurs, and we're not even that old, but you know, when we were amateurs, it was just so different. Now these kids are like faking and feigning. They look like Izzy. They're moving like Volko, you know,
the
like
sport definitely
it's
evolved. Like
it's crazy.
from when I started, it was like super basic. You need
a jiu-jitsu guy could beat the wrestler, or it could beat the striker. Everyone's so good.
Now it's everyone is good everywhere.
You see everyone's movement. It's so good.
To be honest, like it's a good thing, but then I was talking to somebody about it, and it could be a bad thing, right? Because they could get burnt out.
Yeah, of course.
Because this is MMA training is like
but look at any other professional sport. 30 is pretty old in a lot of professional sports. You're professional. You're at the top of your game when you're in your early 20s. So does it happen like that? You know, before getting into the UFC at 30 was probably average a few years ago, right? You get it. I don't think Izzy got in the UFC till he's 28, 29. But
even the training for the sport also evolving. Like even
so that's true as well.
Fitness, like we're not advised as an athlete. I'm not advised to go run 20K anymore or 10K
or spar as hard as you can,
or spar as hard as I can. Now at an experienced level, I can spar hard, but also preserve my body and preserve my partner. Because at the end of the day, I can't go hard all the time. And I've done the mistake before when I was at Tiger, like that, we were just beating each other up every sparring session for an entire year. And then I get to fight, 2-3 times a year. But my body got damaged throughout the entire year. I'm getting damaged every week, twice a week, which is not good. So now it evolved, and then also being an older athlete now, like I can pick and choose. Like I can see a guy going so hard, like I'm not in the mood to get beat him or get hurt, or like we can fight, but then I'm not getting paid in the sparring. I want to get fit, get sharp, and then leave and stay in one piece, you know.
There's still guys that want to go out there, and not even guys. There's girls now that are fucking tenacious. Like they will want to go
today.
hard.
I was watching today, man. I was watching
girls are crazy.
Yeah, they're the most tenacious, I think.
Yeah, they all want. They want to beat each other.
Yeah, and they get emotional too, like in the middle of it.
Yes,
and there you can see it, right? When I watch, I'm like, damn, they going hard. Like if they really wanted to kill each other, they probably end up killing each other.
100%.
But there's some really good scraps at the gym now. The ladies too. Like, I mean, we've always had good girls, but even like today, today's Monday. I was watching sparring, and a ton of good.
Man, there's a lot of good girls that are coming through here. Like you guys got a good base of girls at the team, but I'm saying like the ones that come in and like train with the team, the girls on the team, like dude, it's just like those girls. I don't know if they realize it. They're so fortunate because most gyms don't even have girls.
100%. Yes.
You go to sparring, you go to training every day here, there's like 10, 15, 20 girls.
Yeah.
Like, where can you see that? Very, very rare. Very rare. And you got you got like amateur champions from like Norway and Finland, and like they're all coming in. Like
I love seeing you had Cecilia on here.
Yeah, she's great.
I love seeing her bash the dudes. I watch her in sparring. Every time I look around, you just see some dude just like flying in the air, or she's like arm barring some guy, and then she'll look over and just
She's gonna be. I think
she's a beast.
When she goes to the UFC, she's gonna be in the UFC. I guarantee. I think she will. Right?
You'll recognize her. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, she's gonna be someone that you'll remember.
Yeah,
because once she gets
she's
on that
nice
mic,
and friendly as well.
Oh, she's cool, but like she won't hold back.
She won't hold back. Yeah,
she won't hold back.
But she beats you up. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's tenacious, man.
I always call her a bully. Every time I look around, I'm like, why are you bullying? She's like, they started. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, she plays it off. Let's what is it? I want to talk about one thing, and then we'll talk about the PFL.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I want to talk about is like there was an incident where a fighter punched the ref. Right, MMA fighter punched the ref. Have you ever seen that in your career? Like cornering?
Yes.
You have?
I have seen a fighter winning the fight, pushing the ref and getting disqualified.
Wait, did
It
the ref
went
step
viral.
into the fight?
So like the guy won via a choke.
Yeah.
So he got a rear naked choke.
Mhm.
It wasn't UA Warriors.
Of course it was.
Was it Mark Goddard?
Mark Goddard.
Okay.
So like the guy choked his opponent
Yeah.
out, and then the ref was trying to stop him,
Mhm.
and the guy didn't let go.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
Mark, being Mark, just went aggressive at it, and he just ripped the guy off.
Yeah.
And then the fighter that won pushed the ref and held his t-shirt, and then he DQ'd him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the guy
Bro, you gotta
won,
let,
but
but
lost.
you gotta let go, man. Like fighting is like such a crazy sport, and it's just like this understanding. All right, if you knock me out, stop,
Mhm.
and if you choke me out, stop, and if I
Yeah.
tap, stop. You know, so like it's crazy. It's a pretty
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen like a referee getting attacked like live at a show ever. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Have you ever seen
this?
there's like
You were
videos of like that?
commentating that show, weren't you?
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Mark was furious.
Yeah.
He was like, if you let this slide, it was telling the bosses, is like, if you let this slide, I'm out.
Yeah.
And
You
then
can't listen.
they had to write a letter banning him forever from fighting in UAE.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But you should not talk. You won the fight.
He won
can't-
the fight.
You can't do that. Yeah.
That's wild, right? It's just, referees. I think there's a limit. Like you cannot touch the referees.
Like it went viral.
Yeah.
Dana White had to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
was
crazy
so
job.
crazy.
Being an MMA referee is
Yeah.
a crazy job. I mean,
I had to help Mark one time doing a refereeing course, and it was the practical part of it. So I was the sparring guy. So and part of my job was to not stop even when the referee tells me to stop. And you will be shocked the amount of referees that got hurt. One guy, I was throwing an uppercut, and he put his hand around my back. I was throwing the uppercut, and I ended up popping his elbow.
what a funny situational thing that he had to be a part of.
And
He's like, you got to be the guy that doesn't stop. He's like, all right. Yeah.
the other one is I was beat out, so like I was on top of the guy. I was like throwing ground and pound, and the referee needs to stop me because the fight is over. And then instead of stopping me, he jumped on the other guy to protect him. So I ended up punching the referee and the other guy.
I wish this was on video, bro.
I want to see these. These
No,
got to be some clips.
Oh, it's
right
crazy,
here.
but it was so
I can
rough.
just imagine the referee.
I had to do 33-minute rounds. I was dead.
Shit.
Yes. And I was so out of it that I was actually hitting the guys so hard because I was so mad. But yeah, it was fun.
Man, you just beating up referees.
Some of them were my friends. Like also, like I had to trick them, like we're doing some kind of test. So like when I go in, so I have to do the entire thing. I have to go from my corner, walk to the cage, they pat me, check my cup, check my mouthpiece, and then I go in. So I didn't have my cup, but I had to pretend that I have one. And one guy ended up touching me. I was like, what the fuck are you touching me for? I was like, oh, but you don't have a cup. Yes, I know you don't have a cup, but you don't have to touch me.
Three started fighting the ref.
Yeah.
Right there, it's like fourth fight today. Like
some of them were my friends,
Yeah.
and like I wanted them to pass the exam, but like it happens with one of my friends. He also commentates next to me, Riyad Al-Tai. Mark said, do some weird ass submission. So I ended up doing like some unfamiliar submission, like some sort of crank, and then
Some Tariq stuff.
yeah, and then my friend stood up and he said stop, and then Mark asked him, what did you stop him for? And he started looking at it, armbar, choke. It was like he was so confused, though he ended up failing at that point.
Tariq,
Wow.
Tariq did the
So funny.
Tariq did the weirdest submission he could think of, and then his friend didn't pass the
He
test.
didn't know what
He's
was
like, bro,
going
come on, bro.
on. He's like, he blames you, man. He's
Yeah,
like,
but it was fun. It is tough job to be a referee. You need to
Oh.
be very firm because also one part of being a referee and that course is to control the cage. You know, like you need to give orders to the fighter. You can't just be nice and ask him because I will not listen.
yeah.
You know, and yeah, you need to be firm. That's why I think Mark is very successful because he's very firm and he holds his ground very good, and he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So like whatever happens, I feel every referee needs to be a very good in jiu-jitsu to understand what's going on the
Yeah.
ground.
That some of the scariest videos you'll ever see is when someone gets put to sleep and the ref doesn't notice.
No.
Yeah.
That is like any fighter's biggest fear.
Yeah.
I mean, you trust, so when you fight somebody, of course you trust them within the rules, but you trust this other person to stop the fight. And I mean, that's like anyone's biggest fear, to be put in a chokehold, not be able to tap, and the referee doesn't see it. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos, but I hate them. They're so bad to
That's
watch.
scary, dude.
Very
'Cause
super scary.
Because it
And
could be
then-
another 10 seconds and the dude
10
is
seconds.
dead.
I've
Yeah.
seen some videos where it's like
And
30
on the
seconds
other
and it's
hand,
terrible.
on the other hand, you get referees that have zero knowledge about jiu-jitsu, and then they
Oh, these
are
the
they
worst,
are
yeah.
they are witnessing a submission, but the guy didn't tap. Then they stop it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And I was commentating on a
Mm.
fight. The guy that put his opponent in a triangle choke, but the guy was okay. He was, and there was 10 seconds or 15 seconds left, and the guy doing the choke was telling the referee he tapped or he slept. I don't remember exactly, and the referee stopped it.
Because he believed the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what are you
Instead
doing?
of checking or knowing
Yeah.
that,
He's
Yeah.
out. He's out.
and then
But you can't blame the fighter for that. you
yeah,
know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you said, you gotta be firm. You
It's a-
can't
it's a
ask him
hard job.
questions. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You gotta tell them because it's kind of like the ref is there to help you,
Yes.
but it's not like to be your friend. It's to help you to make it like an even fight.
Fair fight,
Yeah,
yeah.
a fair fight, right?
and keep everyone safe.
Yeah. Mark
okay.
Carter is one of the best in the business, man. Like, it's not, you can't even argue that. Like, he's,
Yeah.
you know, he's done the big fights, but it's insane, like, the type of fights that those dudes have refed. Like, they're
Witnessing,
this close to like the biggest fights ever, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
insane. Like, and you have to be professional. You have to like be in control. You can't even enjoy it.
100%.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no enjoyment to it. Like, you can watch it afterwards. It's like it would be a trip, right? To be
Yeah.
involved in that, and then watching it afterwards, watching you
And
ref,
imagine the amount of pressure on the ref for not doing a
not
mistake.
fucking up. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so much pressure,
Yeah.
especially in that moment, you know. Herb Dean kind of made some bad decisions and it
Yes.
kind of affected him for a while. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, referees have a hard job, man. I hope more like fighters that kind of like step away from actually competing
Become-
go referees and
yes.
judges. You
Yeah.
see it happening now a little bit, but I think we need it more worldwide.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what I mean?
doing it in the UAE very good because they established the UAE committee for MMA. Now they are bringing an older MMA generation into like studying how to coach, studying how to referee, and like they are like bringing in new referees that used to be fighters as well.
All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is the PFL, right? Global expansion, and I'm looking at this article about the MENA, right? Middle East and North Africa. They said that they have like some kind of TV deal,
Yes, so
NBC Group. It says right
NBC,
here.
yeah. So like the biggest TV channel in the region is NBC, which they have like I don't know, maybe 10, 15 outlet of this NBC, the NBC Action, NBC Sport, NBC. I don't know what. So if you remember back in the days when I first started MMA, there was Desert Force on NBC Action.
Oh, okay.
And that was the secret ingredient of the success of Desert Force. And what that brought that wave of fighters from that region, that presented them the entire world because of that TV deal. And the PFL signed a deal with NBC Action to replicate or use the success of Desert Force or secret ingredient to go into the market, you know, because they're coming in hard and signing everyone that is close to be good that is Arab. That and that is the thing that UFC didn't do. They came into Abu Dhabi, but they haven't signed until last year. They signed only one Emirati because of the pressure of Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
As I said, you come to our like area and you haven't signed anyone from here yet.
Yeah.
So they wanted this one guy, and I did after one of my fights, I did an interview with the UFC, but like again, they make things so hard in the process to get in the UFC. So like nobody end up going. Plus, there's a few other guys that were on the door of signing with the UFC, but the money wasn't right. The PFL offered more. They
There you
took them.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like I would figure like if the UFC signed anybody, you'd be one of the guys on the list.
I was very close. I sat with McMahon. Like in my career, I beat 4 UFC guys. One of them was for the UA title, a heavyweight class, and well, the Australian, the Canadian. Like I fought when I started my career, or like last few years in my career, I wanted to fight only guys that coming from the UFC or major promotions, just to show that I am at that level and I can beat people in that like that level. UFC, Bellator, ONE FC, I don't care. I fight anyone. So I beat them, and when I beat the last one, the Canadian, what's his name? KB Baller. I beat him the entire round, and towards the end, he managed to escape my back take, and I was grounded, and he ended up kneeing me so hard in my face. So I ended up winning by DQ, and then Mick said, "Oh, maybe one more." I was on a 4-3 winning streak. Management fucked up with me and ended up losing a fight, and that's when the PFL came in hard, saying, "Sign with us right now. We will do anything." And I wanted to fight one more in the UAE Warriors, and said, "You sign with us, and you do the fight you want. Doesn't matter. Just sign with us." So because I was in the like when I was in the down, I wasn't in the up. I ended up signing with them, but I think it's a great move for me because like, not just fighting wise, I think like evolving after the fighting years, and the way they're expanding big, like I look into developing myself, like bringing in talents to them, and because I know the region and I know people, like I would love to be involved in the sport, but from the outside. Once I'm done, like I done my years, I think I have few more years in me for fighting. But afterward, I still want to be involved. Maybe I will be competing in the jiu-jitsu part only, but I want to be involved in the MMA as well.
Alex, you've known Tariq for a long ass time, and you've known him when when you guys had nothing, right? You guys are just coming up, training, living fight to fight, and sometimes not even fight to fight, right? You're like 3 fights back to fight. You know what I mean? Like there's so much like struggle, right? And then now he's like signed to the PFL. Like it's kind of cool to see like your friends, because you were with them back in the day, right? And just watching them like coming up, and then you were doing your own thing too as well with the gym and everything. So it's kind of cool to kind of like meet full circle in a way, right? And he's back in Thailand training, right? Like
man.
I thought he was gonna be in were you in Dubai?
I have like this is another crazy story. I got stuck in Dubai during COVID. But yeah, I mean, I have a base in Dubai now, but I would love to. I'm reestablishing myself in Thailand again. Like I want to be with my friends. My friends are here.
Yeah.
All the crews here in Dubai. Business wise, yes, but at the end of the day, I want to be happy after.
Well, those 2 places back and forth is not a bad gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So like I want to be 60-70% in Thailand, 30-40% in Dubai.
I feel you on that, man. But back to Alex, man. Just watching that, you know what I mean? And like now you get to like he's probably gonna train at the gym for the rest of his career, right?
Yeah.
So you get to coach, like help him out and like pursue his dream, right? At the Premier Leagues and shit, basically.
Yeah,
Crazy.
the whole thing's a trip. I mean, just seeing like our whole little crew of like people like was like started together in Phuket, and like we had nothing, we were just like figuring it out, just like fight here, fight there. Let's try to train like this, try to train like that. Let's just do this type of conditioning. Like, it's all been like a like evolution. Like Woody's like been our like conditioning guy, and we've always evolved this like fighter conditioning, and obviously with Brad and everything he's done at CKB and and George and Frank, and like the evolution of everybody has just been fucking insane, and super, super grateful to still be doing it. Like, we're all not that old, but we got kind of started young in our careers of like being in these big gyms and that. And yeah, seeing everybody just like bring each other up is super, super cool, which is like, it's kind of like why we started the gym anyway, like during COVID, like everyone was like, we realized, we looked around, look what Volk is doing, look what Izzy's doing, look what Tariq is doing. And he was he's already been establishing himself in the Middle East, but then starting his gym in Dubai. And it was like, yeah, just like evolution of all of us is super, super cool. Doing all this stuff is cool, but doing it with your friends is even cooler.
The boys are back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Bruno's in the
crazy.
gym now.
Yes, man.
You know what I mean?
Seeing him was so heartwarming.
Yeah.
It's like I got these flashbacks from the old days, because what is before COVID is 100% different than after COVID. But now seeing it all coming together, everyone under the same,
and they all got kids.
Yeah,
and that
and they all got kids. Like,
yeah.
but that's what's cool about like again owning the gym is that like, okay, we can have the gym and make it like, okay, all of our friends are still training have to train at a high level, but he's got to come with his wife and come with his baby, and Brad and Volko and when they're around, and George's kids, and so we can still like train at this high level we need to train at, and like what he said too, we're also getting better at it, training and what we need to be doing. We were just for a long time we were just figuring it out.
Yeah,
for the last 10 years we were just like, what works, what doesn't work. We're trying to just figure it out as like a group of, as like a team. But now we need to train at this level, but also like we've also established ourselves more, not just with our family, but in business, so we can go out and enjoy a nice dinner together. How many times like we are all so broke and just like eating just chicken and rice.
I remember messaging him. It was like, yo, can you spot me 1,000 baht? Oh, I'm sure in this month and next month, or I have to go fight a boxing fight in some Patong Stadium, Shillong Stadium.
That is cool.
Thousands.
Have success with your friends is cool.
Yeah.
And we still have a long way to go. I think like we've all got a ton of experience, and I think we're doing much better in our lives than we were 10 years ago. But it is nice to be like, let's go eat a steak and enjoy. And
it's just it's the gym, like just go train, like
for sure,
exactly.
It's your place, man.
And like when we're together, we always had each other's backs, like on the mat, off the mat, when we train, when one of us go to fight, we do this crazy circuits on Saturday where everyone shows up and like yells at you to push in that dark place. It's good feeling to have the crew around again, and like everyone giving each other shit, but at the same time like supporting each other and pushing
do
each
it
other.
seriously.
Because at the end of the day, you guys are professionals. And it's the boys are the boys, and banter is banter and all that, but when it's time to do work,
exactly,
you guys know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Like it's not, there's no like missing pieces and shit. You know what I mean? It's just you guys actually kind of like came up in the best era of MMA, I think. And people are gonna say that, people might say like, no, that's not, no, I think this is the best because you just explained it. That was the era where they were figuring everything out.
Yes.
Like nobody know nothing. Like they know Muay Thai, they know, like, but like true MMA coaches, there weren't many.
There weren't.
No. I remember when like, we were just like this little group of younger guys like all starting their careers, and Roger Huerta was like our idol, and he was our coach. And I remember even something like using the foam roller to stretch out. He introduced us to that. And and just different types of workouts and doing Tabata sprints and stuff that he was very far ahead of everything. And because he used to train with GSP a lot. And GSP was one of those guys that was very far ahead of everything, but he really introduced all of us to a lot of the stuff that we still do. you know, and yeah, we were just figuring it out. But I think that's what makes like all of the experience good is now like these younger people that we were saying, like we're saying these teenagers are so good, try to give them our experience and you know, hey, do it like this. Okay, this worked for me or this didn't work for me. Try to
Yeah, that's why I say you guys come up in the best era.
yeah.
You guys were the ones that were in the gym day in and day out trying to figure the shit out.
Yeah.
Like conditioning coaches in the gym trying to figure that
Just
shit
even
out
look
and
at-
using you as like a
Well,
test example.
look at
and
like
shit.
how, you know, now it's a staple in every workout and every
Oh.
MMA gym is the Airdyne bike.
Yeah.
You know, but like when we're, you know, bikes have been around and stuff, but like that specific type of workout really, you know, I remember we were, oh,
I
what's
remember
that? What's that? And we started using it.
I
And
remember Roger putting us on the bike on the regular
yeah, the regular
and
bike.
doing,
And then
and doing like a type of sprints on it. It was like one of his training was one of the most hectic.
where to
type
pace,
of-
we used to call it where to
oh,
pace.
Where to pace.
But yeah, it is cool to see now things that are like
Yeah.
pretty much just like standard in every
Yeah.
team and every gym. And you know, look, we're not that old, but 10 years ago it was much
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when
100%.
we're in our early 20s, 10 years ago, MMA was much, much different. And even back
There
in the-
was no Instagram back then.
yeah, we were
when,
it just
when
even
we
at the
started
time,
MMA.
it also just like we all knew we wanted to be fighters, but it just wasn't as serious either.
Yeah.
Like we were just, you know, sometimes we'd be going partying and then fight the next
Yeah.
week or like, you know,
Do you think some of the fighters take it too seriously now?
too seriously.
Yeah,
I
like they
don't
take
know.
it too seriously to the point where they're just like mentally they crush themselves too much.
I don't know.
And they don't have that fun side of them. You know what I mean?
Well,
as
we don't
much.
surround ourselves with non-fun people.
No,
Yeah.
we do. I don't know. We do tend to attract like people that have like I don't know because our gym like we do have a lot of banter. Everyone talks shit. Everyone's got a nickname to each other.
Yeah.
We always
Yeah.
play like music. I don't
You
know.
need to have a tough skin to be in.
Yeah, you
there.
gotta-
Oh, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Like some of the things that we say to each other in there is
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
you cannot say it on camera.
But I've seen but I've seen like it's cool about MMA and just life in general. And
Yeah.
people, there's always a different way to figure it out.
Yeah.
And MMA is such a good example for that. I know people who have been UFC champions and they went to bed at 8 p.m. They woke up at 6 a.m. They had this meal at this time, and then they became champion. I know other champions who are partying on the weekends,
Exactly.
you know, after the fight, going out, having a good time, but just living, like
Yeah.
enjoying their life, you know. So
I think just
There's no
not-
perfect
There's no
way
per-
of
yeah.
being a
yeah,
fighter.
there's no just you need to enjoy life at the same time putting in your work. You know if you're it's only you knows if you're cheating or not.
Yeah. for
So
sure.
if you're going every time to the training, putting in mindset that you want to get better, you want to give 100% and go recover. If you're not recovering, don't go party. If you're recovered and rested well, go party. Just you need to find that sweet balance. You know, some people take it too serious. Some people figure it out.
Mhm.
I think like we always keep figuring it out. We get
For sure.
older, we get older, things get changed. You don't you don't recover as fast as before. So like I can't go party and go train the next day.
No, for sure.
That's what we used to do. Before,
Yeah.
but now it's
But even like it just wasn't as,
yeah.
the only times I drove, you know, me
Oh
and
my God.
Emily, we used to live like halfway between like where the gym was and where Patong was. So it was like 15 minutes to get there. So we would like fuck around on like a Tuesday. We'd be like, and like we were so broke too. We'd be like, yo, you got 1,000 baht? And we'd be like, all right, let's go. And we go to Patong and just party, and then fuck, it was crazy. We'd show up the next day to go train. But even like if you look at like obviously things are getting more serious and sponsorship and all that type of stuff. But like, you know, the Ultimate Fighter, the old original Ultimate Fighters were so entertaining because they would just let loose and they would fight each other. But then once people realized how important it was to be on the Ultimate Fighter to potentially get a UFC contract, all that kind of stopped. Yeah, I don't think that shit happens anymore. I mean, I haven't watched the UFC and I haven't watched Ultimate Fighter in a long
And
time.
it became boring.
They try to build drama, but back in the day, you remember all that? There was like, yeah, it was crazy shit.
breaking
you know?
doors and
Yeah.
punching each other. And
Yeah,
but
really
now
fighting each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but now
That was
they're
wild.
more.
But now you look back on it, they would just stock the house full of booze.
yeah.
Like,
they
what the
want,
fuck?
Yeah, they want
Yeah,
competition.
like what the fuck? They were just like, all right, guys.
They won the fight because it's
Crazy.
boring. You don't use any type of entertainment.
But that was the
besides
original
booze.
shows. That's what built the UFC, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what brought it to the mainstream. But
So-
it became a reality show, you know?
So,
I
Tariq,
guess
what
it
can you
was
tell us
always
about the MENA stuff? Like, what do you know anything? Like, because they should be announcing things soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know much, but I know they're signing a lot of athletes to be with them. They definitely did their headquarters to be in Saudi, but I heard they're aiming to do events in Qatar.
Mhm.
I I heard or I got a communication with them that they wanted to do something in Dubai, in the UFC Abu Dhabi, PFL Dubai. They wanted to do something in Dubai, but they fell short on some terms with the sports council in Dubai. I tried to help. They said they're not interested in Dubai at the moment, but I can see their base and presence in the region is increasing. They're
Mhm.
even spending more time in Saudi and getting to know the culture and getting to know the region properly. I suggested to them to do like a tour with the athletes around the region to explain what is PFL, and they find it really good idea because like it's still the stereotype of MMA is being a UFC.
Yeah.
Like, do you train UFC? Is this gym does this gym have a UFC? So like it's still a fresh. You can't compare the region to Europe or to the States, where martial arts is that's like embedded with people. Like people start to know they differentiate between UFC, Bellator, PFL, and the region they still like kind of fresh. Like they still like I'm signed to the PFL, but I still get questions like, "Oh, then when will you be signing to UFC?" It's like PFL is as big as the UFC at the moment. I get
Mhm.
paid more money than
Mhm.
a startup in the UFC. But so like that's what I suggested to them. They trying to do it. I feel they're expanding way faster than their performance.
Mhm.
They don't have a show every week. They should at this level and this like size of a company, they should be doing an event every weekend.
Yeah.
Now
If you
they
want to
have the
compete.
numbers.
Yeah, they do. They have the fighters.
They
They
have
said they're gonna
yeah,
sign the fighters now.
yeah.
So we're gonna be seeing you compete for the next couple of years, and then maybe transition into
Some maybe
yeah.
I'm
I could see
transitioning.
it. I could
Maybe
see
I'm
it.
transitioning now. Maybe
Maybe
not.
not, but
Maybe
you're making moves, right?
yeah. I mean, like I done what I done 3 years of commentary
Mhm.
with the UFC.
Mhm.
I started with them 2020, maybe. Yeah, I finished 2023.
Mhm.
It was very exciting. I've done a lot of events, but it's very tough because I have to work at a US time, and then
Yeah.
like 3 a.m. commentating on the fight until 10 a.m. That's
You
crazy.
need something
Yeah,
extra for
well,
that.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, man, it's good to see you making moves though. Good to see like you
Yeah, and I enjoy. I love the sport, and like I get asked a lot on like even in the gym is like you can't be fighting if you have one foot in, one foot out. You need to be fully committed.
Mm.
And because I'm fully committed and because I love the sport, that's why I keep training hard. Like even if I don't fight, I come to train. I go to the gym every day. Um, I'm trying now. I'm 34 years old. Maybe 3 more years or 2 more years, depends. But jujitsu is evolving so
Yeah.
fast as well. And my last fight was in ADXC. It's a new promotion against Marvin Vittori.
Mm.
And I see myself doing these type of fights because I get to fight top 10 athletes in the UFC, but in a jiu-jitsu rule set.
Mm.
So maybe a couple of years with the PFL and then fully commit to ADXC.
I was saying this. I wrote this on something. I was saying that ADXC should be the promotion. They do it in Saudi Arabia or Dubai.
Abu Dhabi.
Okay, Abu Dhabi. That should be the promotion in Abu Dhabi that brings in the best grapplers from the UFC, from PFL, from all the MMA promotions, right? And then they put them against each other.
That's what I said, but I mean they still want to do jiu-jitsu athletes. Like they brought Cyborg the other day.
That ain't bringing nobody. you need to put the MMA fighters
exactly,
in there.
and they're doing so. Just they can't put the entire card MMA fighters. They
Yeah.
want to. It's still grappling, so they need to bring grapplers as well.
Yo, I had no idea. You know, the first card that you were on, I had
Yeah.
no idea who the gi grapplers were.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I said to them, just put a very famous grappler against a very famous MMA guy, and let's bring it back to the UFC day, the early days of the UFC, and see if the grappler knows how to use the cage to his advantage. Because as an MMA fighter, I know how to use the cage. I know how to cut corners. So like put style versus style. But when you put two MMA fighters, we both know how to use the cage. Like the MMA fights were the most entertaining ones. The jiu-jitsu guys, they just pull guard and sit in the middle. They didn't know how to push each other on the fence. They didn't know how to fight on the cage, wrestle on the cage. So yeah, they're going. That's why the main event this time was MMA guys.
Yeah.
Hopper or Cooper versus Sterling.
That's right.
Yeah. So like the next one will be in Brazil, and I will be on the fourth one, and we're working on very big fights. So
yeah, to me, I think you should go promotion against promotion. Don't have UFC guys compete against each other. Have UFC guy compete against, like, say Sterling.
It will have a story. Yes.
Yeah, Sterling against Patchy Mix.
Yeah.
Imagine you could get that grappling match.
And they can. They have the money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I should be working for them.
Well,
come on. Hey, ADX, look it up. Well, anyways, matchmaker. You know. But anyways, like, yeah, it's like I think that they have a gold mine. If they have the funding, they have a gold mine. Like they could. All these people talk about who's the best grapplers in MMA. Blah. You could do it.
Yes.
Alex, who you grappling? I know you gotta fight at what is it? Grapple at 125. Who would you grapple? Like if you could, like, let's say he's the matchmaker. He's one of your close friends.
I want to bring all of these guys.
Oh, okay.
Anyone.
Who would you?
I put his name. I put George's name. I put his friend's name. So we'll see.
Frank's name?
Yeah.
Get Frank in there, bro. Yeah, hell yeah.
I put everyone's name.
Why
not?
I would love it. I would love it.
What is he an Alex Volkanovski's wrestling coach? Competing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
no,
dude,
I'd love to do it for sure.
Yeah. People would be like, who's he grappling?
Yeah, I'd love to
Him
do it
and
for
Bo
sure.
Nickel.
Yeah.
No, Bo Nickel's way big though.
Yeah,
he's
he
like
would do
middleweight. But like, who would you grapple? Like, look at the top 15 in like UFC flyweight.
I don't know. It's interesting.
I would love to see you grapple one of those guys.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. You know, I don't know. I couldn't even think of any names, but yeah, I'd love to do it. Any of them.
Yeah,
it'd just be super fun.
I think like Brandon Moreno would be good.
Yeah, for sure. That guy's fights are sick.
Imagine like
that
would be
him and Figueiredo. A lot of their like
so much fun.
Their scramblings and their matchmaking. But those guys make grappling exciting. You know, those guys do it good. So.
The scrambles, like the flyweight scrambles are just insane, right?
It's exhausting.
Like, I would love to see it. Well, you know, you've been in video of them, right?
Like they pay me good. I love jiu-jitsu. Like if I don't love MMA so much, I would have just stopped and completely transitioned into ADXC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is the entire process. What makes me love MMA is exactly the same in ADXC, you know, and like the showmanship, the trash talk, the
bright lights.
Yeah, the brights, like the lights that makes you. What makes me want to step in the cage again, just with no getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
It's the same money and enjoying it. Like I loved every single part of that journey in the ADX. I wasn't preparing well, but I mean, I had fun. I had to fight at top level guys. Marvin Vittori was ranked number 3, 5, I don't know, something in that top 5 division. But yeah, I was supposed to fight Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah, that's right.
But he got pulled out by the UFC 2 weeks before.
Oh, so the UFC pulled him out.
Yeah, because he was a backup fight for Colby versus Leon Edwards. Yeah.
But they could put that fight back together.
Well, we are talking about, like, I don't want to cut for jiu-jitsu. I don't want to cut that much weight.
Yeah.
They want me to be 80 middleweight. Well, I was like, I'll just fight light heavyweight.
There's so many light heavyweights you could compete against.
No, like, I mean, all middleweights will compete at light heavyweight in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
Yeah, it's I'm interested to see like like what they do with the MENA stuff, man. Because like the landscape, the people, like they should definitely be listening
Oh,
to
look
like
at the
what you're
boxing.
saying.
The boxing is all like recentering in
Saudi.
Saudi.
Yeah.
So
It's the center, man. Anyways, thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll be back on Thursday with another different crew. And yeah, just make sure you guys download the All-Star app and support the podcast, support the gym. You know what I mean? The gym is crazy right now. It's just like, dude, the mats is insane. Like, just go watch it at 4 o'clock. Just go. If you're around here, just go watch it at 4 o'clock. Just watch. Just be a spectator and just absorb it in. You know what I mean? Like, you might see a UFC champion there. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, all love, and we'll see you guys next week or on Thursday. Sorry.